Alright you guys, so in this video what I wanted to do is show you how you combine two projects to each other after they've been finished. So I have two projects. I have a printing project, which I'll open over here, and I have two instances of Scene running. So mind you, this is not something how I recommend it, but it's easier for the video to show you both projects running at the same time. So I have a warehouse project in an instance of Scene over here, all finished and happy, and then I have another printing project here, also finished and happy with Scan Manager, locked and good results, same as with my warehouse, locked and really good results for my registration, target less registration. But ultimately the one difference between the projects that I have, the warehouse project actually has some matched objects, and these matched objects are something that I want to focus on in this video, because I want to make sure that when I combine the two projects to each other, that those matched objects are also going to remain where they need to be. That means there are XYZ positions that are obviously, you know, in the properties of each are going to be kept the same way that they are in this project. How this works is you need to decide obviously which project is going to go into which one. I'll do it backwards now, just for the sake of the video. I'll do it backwards, but prove the point that it still actually works. So what I'll do is I'll complete or close the warehouse project. I didn't make any changes, so I don't need to save it, but I will go into my printing project and say, hey, you know what, I have a warehouse project that I need to combine this with. Import, and I'll import not scans, hold on, import projects. So a finished warehouse project is what I'll be importing here. There we go. So project number 2 is now loaded on top of project number 1. These projects definitely are not registered to each other. You'll see that they are not working currently. There's a registration that's missing, but if I view A1, locate it by virtue of having brought it in as a full project, it's still reading the position of where it was in relation to the warehouse. So again, we'll do A6 here, I don't know, and you'll see that it's still where it needs to be. Perfect. Now, in order to combine these intelligently, what you need to do is, this is the step that a lot of people will miss. There's a need for you to tell the program not to move the position of the warehouse when it's doing registration. So in order to do that, what we'll do is we'll go into operations, registration designated as a reference cluster. Reference cluster will give it a little blue dot inside the little cluster icon. What we now need to do is we need to tell the program, hey, there's a new cluster which will hold the two projects inside them, which will allow us to actually do the combination. So call this combined. Doesn't matter, name does not matter obviously, but we'll do this, we'll do this. So now we have a cluster which has two projects inside it. Previously the printing and then the warehouse cluster. These guys, the matched objects, are now kind of disassociated from the warehouse, and you can tell by them not being in the same folder and structure. But in order to maintain their positions, we marked this as our reference scan, just like I did over here. And now your registration method is going to be completely up to you. You can do target-less or target-based registration. But the goal here is we will not be moving the warehouse, which means it's going to maintain the positions of the objects. So I'm using target-based registration here because it was easier and faster, but it should now be working, meaning if I view the project now, and you can see that it's not a jumble of two projects right now anymore. They are registered to each other, but ultimate test is when you right click A1 and you hit locate, what it should do is it should still be in the same position, and it is. So even if I do A6, it'll still be in the same position. If for some reason this did not work this way, what you need to do is you actually need to close this project quickly before saving it, or I guess in the first place, you have saved your warehouse project or project number 1, you have saved your printing project, which will be printing or project number 2. They're separately saved into their own locations. Decide which one you want to import into which one. Just redo this process again by making sure that whichever you decide has the important objects in it, that you designate as a reference cluster. Once that's done, the program should be able to not move that actual project and keep it as a reference for the future, and that way also link the actual points or objects, whatever you've identified, in the same spot. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below.